Hello there, Rochelle again with Dreaming English, and today we're going to have part 2 of my interview with my friend from India, and we're going to talk about what our future plans are for the YouTube channels that we're doing, both on learning English, and how, I think at least for myself, making all these videos during the pandemic has really given me a sense of purpose beyond my full-time job. We're going to talk about motivations for learning English and learning language, traveling, future travel plans, places that I traveled before, and why. Are you ready? Let's go.
Yeah. So going ahead, I have a next question to you. What's your future plan for YouTube?
Yeah, so, my channel has been kind of based off of a similar channel in Spanish that I watched, and like the idea of like doing the drawing and telling the
Yeah, I
stories.
see, I see.
And so my thought in the future is possibly to have some sort of like subscription model where I will put out like 2 videos a week, and then if people want 3 videos or 4 videos, then they could pay extra for the extra content. And that's
Yeah,
what this other person that has a Spanish channel similar has done.
yeah,
And I'm not really thinking I'm going to become some YouTube star and make a ton of money, but I wouldn't mind if it at least paid for the Adobe Premiere and all the video cameras that I bought for now. That would be awesome. That's my plan, is to kind of grow it.
yeah, that's great.
And
Definitely your
what about
channel.
you?
Uh, as you know, I am a student, so I don't have much time for YouTube. But
Right.
whenever I get time, then I try to make these kind of things.
Yeah.
And it's also like nowadays become my hobby, and I am gaining interest in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am just going on in flow. I don't have any proper plan.
Yeah. And I think at first it's still like majorly a hobby for me. It has given me something to kind of get through the whole pandemic and give me like purpose besides
Uh,
just my full-time job. And because we can't go anywhere, like in the US anyway,
yeah,
there's not much that you can do. There
yeah,
will be soon, but right now you can't. So making these videos has given me like that purpose.
yeah. I think you spend your whole lockdown doing productive things, making videos.
Yes. Yes. In
Yeah,
fact, it definitely, like, I started to make more as soon as we were locked down. I think I was just making 1 a week, and then I started making 2 or 3 a week during lockdown, and that's what I continued because I had more time instead of driving my kids all over the place and being involved in all these activities that we were involved in. I was at
yeah,
home with all this time on my hands, and instead of just sitting there and watching Netflix or doing whatever else other people do, I spent
yeah,
the time making videos and editing videos.
yeah. And you spend productive time, and you was connected virtually through the all the world.
Right,
And
exactly. I mean, I have people following all over, and I love to look and see where new people are following me in all these countries that some of them like, oh, I didn't know there was that country. Like, because there's 200 countries, right? So, or something
yeah,
like
more
that.
than
So,
200.
more than 200. So, I'll see one that I'm like, where is that? I haven't heard of that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's happened. It's happened. So, do you have any question for me?
Um, I guess I would be like your motivation for learning English. What's your motivation for learning English?
Oh, yeah, it is a good question. So, what's the reason behind it? So, last year I went to a technical fest, and I had participated in an event there in
Hmm.
the campus. The campus name was IIT Kharagpur. Maybe you heard that name, IIT. So I participated in an event, and that time I have to communicate with the event manager, and the language was only English, because the person with whom I was communicating, he know only English language. So I asked question in Hindi. She replied me in English. Again I asked question in Hindi. Again she replied me in English. Then I felt that at least I should learn basic English so that whenever I need, I can communicate in that language.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's a good motivation, right? To be able to communicate with more people and be, especially that's your your field and all that, that it's so important to know the language.
Yeah, yeah. So the basic reason is just I want to, I want to be become no able to communicate with anyone in the world.
Hmm. And
So
that's definitely a good start to be able to study a language that's, one of the top languages. I'm not going to say that because certainly, I don't know, it's Chinese or and
yeah,
Spanish are one of the two of the top ones, but English is definitely spoken in so many places
yeah,
by so many people.
yeah, yeah. And also, according to a research in India, I think 85% engineers are not good at English speaking.
Oh,
You
really?
know,
Really?
they know that if we speak English, then our salary would be good.
Right.
Will Yeah, but even though they are not trying to speak, they are not speaking. That's the second reason. I know I am in a no I am in a professional course. I have to become an engineer, and in corporate world there is only English language which is common, so I
Mhm.
have to communicate in that language. So it's good to learn early stage.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those are definitely good reasons. For me, like learning Spanish is just really a hobby. It's useful a little bit in my job because there are Spanish students and such, but we have other staff members, other teachers and such that speak
Yeah,
Spanish fluently. So
yeah,
they don't really call on me to be able to speak with those Spanish students, but it's good occasionally to be able to communicate with, the students or the parents. But for me, it's more of a hobby, and also I I have read a lot of it being like good for the brain, like when you get
yeah,
older, as I am getting older than you, right? I have this child that is 17, so he could be your little brother. So as we get older, knowing another language is going to help with memory and help with health and everything. So
yeah.
it's a hobby for me. I think it's good for health and I for travel too, because I would like to travel to countries and be able to communicate with people.
Yeah. So, yeah, learning any language, when we learn any language, we open a new window of our room. And
Yes.
with that window, we can communicate a lot of people who speak
Hmm.
that language.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as you told that you are interested in traveling. So, have you been to India?
I have not been to India. I have friends from India, but no, I have not. I've been to Mexico and Finland and Costa Rica and Canada. Those are
Yeah.
the four countries that I've been to so far, but I plan to travel to more countries. I'm mostly going to focus on traveling to countries that speak Spanish because my goal is to become more fluent in Spanish, but I
Yeah.
definitely would love to see India someday. I definitely what I do though is I watch this YouTuber, and he's one of the most famous YouTubers from Mexico, and he travels all over the place, and he's gone to India many times, and I'll watch him and learn Spanish, but he went to the Taj Mahal, and he'll go all over the place. And
Yeah.
I'll learn about India, and I'll learn about Russia, and I'll learn about all these places, but I'm also learning Spanish. So through this Lucito, that's his name, I'm learning about all these different cultures and these different places and seeing it, secondhand, but I'm also learning Spanish. So right now, that's the only way I've traveled to India.
So, in future, do you have any plan to come India?
In the future, yes. I don't know when though. Like right now, um, I haven't traveled anywhere. I was going to go to Spain, but then the pandemic happened, and
Yeah.
I'm, saving some money to go somewhere. But yes, in the future, someday I definitely would plan to go to India.
Welcome in India in advance. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you may heard about in India, people have good heart. You know,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I went to school with people and, friends because there's a lot of a big Indian community here, especially in Massachusetts where I live. I've worked with people, and there's a
Yeah,
fairly big Indian community here. So I've become friends with people, tried the food, and got to know a little bit more about the culture that way.